Mike Faraci. Welcome to the Fly the Flag podcast with my co-host, Jonny Fowler. How's it going, Johnny?
It's going great. I am so glad to be on here with you, and it truly is an honor for me. When I was asked to do this with you, I got really excited about it because
we wouldn't be in the same room together, so at least you didn't have to suffer me close together, right?
Not only that, but now just the whole idea of being on the same page and trying to get something out to everybody out there and continuation of what you've already put together. It's really cool. I appreciate this more than you know. So I'm looking forward to this. And the guest that we already have lined up to be on here is going to be just, I'm really excited.
The first of many to come. I'm excited about a lot of stuff we're going to have lined up too. But for all the people who are catching us for the first time, which is probably most of you, what in the heck is the Fly the Flag podcast? It's actually something that I booted up a few years ago when COVID hit and we all started working from home. It got lonely. And I just wanted to put kind of a central hub, a bit of a broadcast out there that anybody could tune into live. It was for AFN employees only. American Financial Network was a great place to be. We had a great culture. It was a real family atmosphere. I didn't want to lose that. So that's kind of what Fly the Flag turned into. Like, hey, I'm proud to be a part of the company. I'm going to fly that flag. If you're proud to be an Apple or a Samsung user, fly that flag. A lot of people are brand proponents of things without even getting paid for it, and they don't even know it just because they're excited about what it is they're talking about. So that's what Fly the Flag is. We're just bringing it to the masses. It's going to be publicly available now, and with the addition of Johnny by my side, it's going to get nothing but better and more valuable to any mortgage and real estate people that end up tuning in.
It's great. And can you imagine? I am so glad that we're out of that. But I mean, when you said that about, you started this because of COVID, because of the pandemic, all of a sudden, one day we're sitting at the office. The next day, you've got to make a makeshift office in your home to continue doing business. The businesses have to keep going. So when we get to tell this story to our grandkids and our great grandkids, nobody's ever going to believe it. So it needs to be recorded.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's ever going to believe. They might not believe the story. They might not believe how quickly we had to adapt. They might not believe that we weren't set up to do it from home to begin with. That's probably the more likely thing they're not going to believe.
The other thing is it gave me a great excuse to buy a new microphone. After I saw the graphics that you had built for the Fly the Flag podcast, I was a typical Yeti Blue user, and I looked at that. I'm like, I can't do that. So I've got to get, whoever makes that Unidyne classic looking mic and the Shure Super 55. I love this thing so far. So it gave me a great excuse to buy a new mic.
It's a good looking toy. I like it a lot. You sound good coming through too.
Well, it does help. I've got a little bit of that reverb going on or something.
So enough of the formalities. Again, Mike Faraci, Jonny Fowler, we've been in the business for a while. I have 17 years plus under my belt. Johnny, how long have you been in the business?
28 years. 28 years in May.
So there you go. You do the math, and but between those numbers and what you're seeing on screen, you'll probably be able to guess our ages pretty close. But we have plenty of experience to fall back on, and we look forward to bringing you some value from that experience right away. So we're here recording this on the first day of September in 2022, and we want to do something pertinent for all of our folks out there. And let's dive into a little housing market update. I don't want to go into mortgage markets too much today. I want to focus on housing market and real estate because that's really going to help the end user, the borrowers, the home buyers. I mean, that's who we're in this industry for. I have a few stats here that I pulled this morning. I actually refer a lot to my buddy Mike Simonson over on the Altos Research YouTube channel. Take a look over there if you're interested in some real estate market stats similar to what you hear now. But Johnny, I just want to get your professional reaction to these and see what you think. So first thing I have is available inventory. These were accurate as of last week, by the way. So available inventory was unchanged from the week prior. June and July was seeing a 6 to 8% increase in available inventory per week. Now we're in late August, early September, and available inventory is plateauing. Thoughts on that?
So I think that stats can be read any way that you want to. One of the things that I find confusing with the stats is most of the time, and depending on who's putting them together, they'll put in new home starts. So if you look at new home starts across the nation, I think we're sitting at like 9.5 or 10 months worth of inventory, which we know is not true because that's a piece of dirt sitting on the ground and nobody can move into that for the next part. If we look at true stats of what is sitting on the ground, ready to put the keys in the front door, whether it be existing real estate or new real estate, those numbers are much smaller. So we still have somewhat of an inventory problem across the nation. Now, that's a national thing. It's not something that is local, just in your area, because everybody's area is a little bit different. So in my opinion, depending on how you read the stats and what you're looking at, we're still sitting at about 2.5, 3 months worth of inventory that's existing right now. But what it's telling me is that starts are up. Some of the things that I'm seeing that's kind of funny is right here in my hometown, there are builders, big national builders that were doing so well that they didn't need the real estate industry to help them, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And then now all of a sudden they're begging the realtor to come in, bring customers, and they've cut prices on their property. So it's a little bit different everywhere that you're at.
So you mean the lines aren't out the door with buyers willing to waive all contingencies and give up their firstborn for a house anymore?
No, that's not there. Don't see that anywhere in the nation anymore. And that's a good thing. We needed to get back to a much more stable market, but I still think that we're going to have issues because we have so many, what's called a formation, when two people join together to be a new family or whatever you want to say. We have such a backlog of that getting ready to hit the market again. Everybody that got burnt out on waiting to buy a property, they are now getting ready to be out of their lease, and I think it's gonna come back somewhat. Now they may be put off a little bit by rates because for some reason we got into this thing that everybody should get a 2% mortgage rate, which I don't understand that. But my thing is, anytime somebody's loaning you money for 10% or less, you're doing really well.
That's historically, yes, that's true. I kind of see where the new generation of first-time homebuyers would have a little more skewed viewpoint on that because basically for their entire lives, rates haven't been in that range. But, I mean, people are buying homes with rates in the 5s right now. That's pretty darn good, man.
But look at you and I. So when I financed my first home in 1994, when I financed my first home, I was an A-paper first-time home buyer, FHA loan. And I got 8.5%, and that was market rate in 1994. So I got in the business the same year that I bought my first home. Now, ever since I got in the business, rates have been going down and going down dramatically. I mean, when we went from 8.5 to 6s, nobody could believe that. That was just the craziest thing. And then we saw 4s. And, when we started getting into the 2s, I told people, you've got to take advantage of this. I would not loan my own family money for 2%. I would give them the money. I'm not going to do the paperwork for 2%. So it's going to be a fun time no matter what. It's going to weed some people out. There's going to be some really good things that are happening, and the cream will always rise to the top.
I like that. There was another stat that I didn't write down, but it was interesting. The number of offers per new listing, and all this data that I'm going off of is single family residences only.
Yep.
So I'm thinking squarely of the home buyer who's buying a house to live in, to put their family in there, to get started with their first home. The number of offers per listing has cut in half over the past couple of months, which just means less competition and an easier time for home buyers. So that backs up what you're saying. The people that still qualify at these non-2% mortgage rates are going to have a lot less competition, and it's going to be a lot easier for them to get their home offer accepted. I mean, God forbid, being able to inspect the house before you close on it, right? There's a whole lot of crazy stuff being waived.
paying actual value. One thing I'm looking forward to, and I'm glad we're recording this because I want to look back on this. So one thing that has happened, and you know this as well as I do, is because of the rates being so low, people were able to buy much more home than they normally would or could. So are you sticking with me so far?
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, with the prices going crazy sky high in values, which is great for those of us that want that increase in value, that are selling properties or using our property as retirement. That's a great thing. But now what nobody's talking about is the fact that somebody who got in on a extremely low interest rate, maybe in, let's say, 2018, 2019,
sure,
now the property value is double what it was when they bought. So now they're paying taxes on a property that they still have a semi-affordable payment, but property taxes, like here, I don't know if you realize this, in Texas, there's a number of places around the Houston area that taxes are over 4% annually on a property. So if you'll look at this, and I know where you guys are in California,
that's
you've got
paying paying your down payment again every year.
Exactly. Think about that.
Yeah.
Every single year that was just added in. So if you bought a property at $250,000 and it's taxed at, $8,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now your taxes are based on $400,000 at a 4%. So you've got $16,000 a year in property taxes. And I know it's like that in a lot of the country. I'm waiting for people to start talking a little bit about that.
Yeah, because that is a more regional conversation, and it's extremely pertinent because I mean, you can't compare apples and oranges any more than having people in Florida talk to people about Texas about cost of home ownership.
Correct.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Absolutely. Another stat, interesting stuff. The median price of a new listing is now down to $393,900. It's nationwide from a peak of about $425-ish. So we're down pretty substantially on the median price of a new listing, but the median price of all single-family homes on the market is unchanged from last week, sticking at $449,000. So I'm going to combine that with another stat saying that price reductions have now risen to 39%. So 39% of all single-family homes on the market have taken a price reduction. I'm looking at this stuff and saying, okay, median home price of all listings is $449. Median price of new listings is $394, and way more than average of those homes have taken price hits. All that just tells me that we're past the peak, man. The people who are listing new are listing lower. The people who are trying to catch that last tail end of the wave, they might be keeping that median home price higher than what the actual reflection should be based on active transactions, because the people who do want to sell, they're having to drop their price to do it.
Yeah, so I want to hit on 2 points that you just mentioned. So first of all, I think that we need to explain, and I think anybody in our industry needs to explain what median home price means. I think there's such a huge misconception because the greater majority of people, when they hear median price change, is they think that is the middle of what the prices were for the properties. And median does not mean that at all. What median means is, let's say there was 100 properties that were sold last month. If you go straight down the line and they're in numerical order from the lowest price to the highest price, number 50 is priced at
the
blank.
Median.
That is the median home price. That is not the average. There is
Correct.
a massive difference between average and median. So one thing that happens is a lot of people will make mistakes in neighborhoods, and they will think that the median home price is something that's exorbitant or more than what it really is when they just finish building out a section of high-end luxury homes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to pay attention to that first. Yes, I will agree that home prices have dropped, but you and I are going to be on the same page with this one, I assume. Yeah. We think that prices, so the value of your property has always been here, no matter what. This is a normal market, no matter what. Now, there are outside factors that happen that will make prices go up and down, but the value of your property is here. What happened is people were able to get over value of their property. Just like right now, what you're watching, we went through 2 years of not having any automobiles. We still had wrecks. We still had breakdowns. We still had all of those things. So the value of that piece truly didn't change, but the need for that piece changed dramatically. People were paying extremely high, way over. So we got to get those in line first, but I'm telling you, we're still in a market of appreciation. We're
Agreed.
Still in a market of large appreciation. We're just getting more into more of a stable market. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, day before yesterday, we were in a seller's market. A lot of people are screaming, saying we're now in a buyer's market. Where do you think we are?
I think that we're somewhere in between. I know, and that's an unpopular opinion in in America right now, because a lot of people like to pick 1 or 0, black or white. But I live in the gray because there's so much more of that. So just because the seller leverage that existed a few months ago isn't as heavy now doesn't mean that it's not still a seller's market if you're willing to sell at a fair price and not look for $20,000, $30,000 over list, but at the same time, just because that leverage is shifting doesn't mean it's a buyer's market either. Right now, we're in a really good middle ground where buyers, regardless of down payment amount, and again, this is regional, so if you're in a pocket of the nation that's just still going crazy, that's very possible that what I'm saying right now makes no sense at all. But average over the nation, what I'm seeing is that there's less competition, but that doesn't mean there's no competition. Sellers, like when I bought my first house back in 2009, aren't now having to approach buyers and say, oh, I'm going to pay your closing costs if you buy my house. We're not seeing a market where it's flipping into seller concessions as a normal thing in a transaction. But we're also seeing a market to where buyers aren't competing against a dozen offers. They're competing against maybe 2 or 3 offers. And the people who do have 3 to 5% down stand a shot because there's not a whole lot of cash offers backing them up anymore. And at the same time, a buyer might be able to retain their contingencies and, like I said, inspect the home and appraise the home and have that mean something to the transaction as opposed to just information for their own good. We're trending back towards a more, and it's
stable market.
More stable market. I was going to say normal, but stable is a much better word to use.
Yeah, no,
it's a much more stable market that people are kind of used to, and just because things are going crazy doesn't mean they're not good either way.
And we need a stable market.
Yeah.
We do have some issues. There's some problems. I mean, we still have supply chain issues. I was talking with a not a national builder, but a multi-state builder yesterday. And one of the things that we were talking about is some of the smaller builders are getting squoze out or taken over because a tremendous amount of these very large builders, Lennars, D.R. Hortons, Perry's, large builders, when they need to buy material, Acme Brick is going to sell to somebody that's buying 1,000 houses worth of brick versus somebody who's buying 5 houses worth of brick, something along those lines. So you still have a lot of those problems, and that's going to be continuing on for quite some time. So that's not going to go away. And even though we're in a very strange place because it looks like some of the builders may be able to discount properties, but they're really not. They're just coming down from inflated values anyway. One of the things that we've seen, and when we go and I'm going to put somewhat of a national scope and then regional very quickly, is we've seen this great migration. People leaving certain parts of the country, going to other parts of the country. And I got to witness it, and I know you did too from your aspect. But
they were leaving me and going to you, man.
Exactly.
I'm in Southern California. Happened. You're in Texas. I mean, it was you could have built a specific highway for that, and it would have been a very good investment.
And one of my friends actually looked this up and found this out, and I think you probably know my buddy up in Vacaville. To rent a U-Haul going from San Francisco to Dallas, Texas, it was $300 or $400. You know, I'm sorry, it was $3,000 or $4,000 just to rent the U-Haul. Now, if you wanted to go from Dallas to San Francisco, they would almost pay you.
I was going to say 25 cents. Just pay the gas. We need more trucks back up in California.
What was happening to us is the California money that was so much more. I mean, you guys have a 1,400 square foot house that you can sell for $1.4 million.
Depending on where it's located, absolutely.
For $1.4 million right here in Houston, Texas, you're looking at 8,000 square foot. You're looking at, depending on where you're at, you know, you can get a little bit out in the suburbs and you're sitting on 5 acres.
Yeah.
You were looking at, you know, something that's absolutely amazing where, you know, you guys are in a smaller area. They've had the same problem. You look at everybody who has left New York, New England area going down to Florida, same exact problem. So it is not fixed. It is not going to be, you know, completely stable, but the prices are getting more stable. But we still have, look at this, you know, we have a massive affordable home program, a massive affordable home problem in this country.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
What did you pay for your house in 2009?
Oh my goodness. 2009, I bought a house I was in Riverside County, California, in Corona. Okay. For those familiar with the area, my only requirement was that I needed to stay west of the 15 freeway, and you know why. But the traffic, man. It was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house, 1,440 square feet. The back fence was right up against a city park.
Okay.
Really nice place. $200,200.
Okay.
I sold it in 2017 for $425 and thought I did amazing until, you know, 2020, 2021 happened. But like, no regrets. There's no ways you can predict the global pandemic and the effects that that's going to have on the economies of any kind. You know, so still feel like I did pretty good. But now I'm in Orange County, more centrally located, more desirable neighborhood. Stay in here because we got a couple of kids and the grandparents are 30 minutes that way and 40 minutes that way. So it's just a really good spot for our family, but we're renting. We can't afford to buy here. Right. It's crazy, you know, and we still have a nice house. We're very happy here. But if we were to purchase this place, even if we had the 20% down that we would need to make it feasible, our housing payment would still go up over $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're lucky enough to find a house owned by a person in a college town who wanted to rent to a family and not a group of students. So we got lucky, and we're here for a while. But so the cost of ownership is unbelievable.
Put some perspective on that. In 1994, when I financed my first house, 322 corner lot, swimming pool, 72.9 was the purchase price. 72.9, and when I sold the house in the year 2000, I think I sold it in 2002. The value had gone all the way up. I was the most expensive house in the neighborhood at the time, and it went up to $120,000. From 94 to 2000, it was $120,000. 2,000 square foot corner lot, 322 with a pool. And now in 2021, that property just sold again for $240,000. So put some perspective there. Now my taxes were ridiculous.
Yeah. Just so much more stable.
Yeah.
And as any conversation, it's going to seem so much more stable because we're talking in dollars and not percentages.
Right.
So
we're back in a much more stable market. We're in a much better market for anyone, for first time, for move up buyers, for move down buyers. I mean, that's another problem. I've had neighbors in my neighborhood wanting to be moved down because there's no reason that, a married couple by themselves needs 6,000, 7,000 square feet. And my neighbors were having problems finding move down houses that were affordable during the past couple of years.
Sure. And let's face it, it's just a great time to own right now. I'm left out of that mix right now, but that's okay. I don't care. We've made our
Maybe
choices.
you should buy property in a bordering state, or
that's the thing to look at sometimes. If you're out there, be creative. If you want to be a homeowner, be creative. It's a great time to own. There's still this supply and demand. I don't want to say issue because it's not a problem, but it does exist. There are still far fewer homes on the market than it would take to create a buyer's market of any kind. So values are stabilizing. Are we seeing a dip in values? Yeah, we are. It's also the beginning of September.
Yeah.
This is cyclical. Summer is pretty much over. The kids are starting school. We're going to be moving into the holiday season. Listings and sales, they always trend down at this time of year. So this isn't anything special or crazy like we've seen over the last couple of years. Values are stabilizing. They're not plummeting like a lot of people thought the bubble was going to burst. And basically anybody who owns a home right now is sitting on a heap of equity with a really cheap loan. So you're in a pretty good spot.
No question whatsoever. It's always a good time to be in real estate. That is where the greater majority of the nation's wealth is at. You need to be in the real estate game without a question. You pick the time, but don't. One of them is I'm begging people, don't watch the news. Years ago, one of the guys that was kind of a mentor to me told me I was not allowed to watch the news, and if I did watch the news, I was not allowed to believe it, and I've kind of stuck with that forever.
The headlines are just the worst. Just the worst. Everybody gets every organization who's putting news out there gets paid for clicks these days.
Oh yeah.
So that's what the news is geared towards. You're just getting your eyeballs on them. It's crazy. But what I do look forward to as I enter this so smooth transition between topics, what I do look forward to that AFN has coming up at the end of September, we have our branch managers conference. So we're going to be able to get a nationwide kind of panel. You're like walking around talking to a nationwide panel of mortgage experts to get their opinions on all of this stuff. We have branches in over 200 branches nationwide right now. And pretty much everybody's going to be at the conference.
The perspective is going to be just off the chain. And if you look at it, if you look at some of our people, we've got people that are, you can't really say bi-coastal, but what you can say is we've got the maybe snowbirds that are in the northeast part of the state, northeast part of the country, and then they go down to the southeast part of the country and so forth. So we've got a lot of perspective coming. I'm really looking forward to this this conference. One, it's going to be great to get out and be part of something again.
Agreed.
I'm so looking forward to this. I was reading the lineup the other day, and Bethany McLaughlin and myself, we've got 3 breakout sessions, but I'm looking at some of the people that are speaking, and my great friend, Barry Habib, is keynote. So I'm so looking forward to that one. Tell me what you're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to, it's a little selfish. After the keynote, there are a series of breakout sessions.
Yep.
There's 3 different pods that people can go to. One of those pods is the executive panel, where it's going to be super interactive, and the entire audience is welcome to and encouraged to ask questions, raise concerns. The executives are on a panel sitting right in front of you on the stage, and they're there to address your questions and concerns. And I get to moderate that, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, that's cool! I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I'll be able to keep everybody on topic and hopefully encourage the encourage the sharing of information and make sure that people don't sit meek and shy in their seats. And we'll have one of my good buddies at the corporate office, Raul. He runs our branch relations department. He's going to be my roaming mic. And if you know Raul, he's not shy about anything. So he's going to help me out in there, and we should be able to keep it lively and nice. But it'll be a good chance to, again, raise concerns and hear feedback from our nationwide team of branch managers and kind of shoot some ideas back and forth about how we can help their business grow in the coming months and years.
Agree. I think my breakouts are going on at the same time, so I probably won't get to see that one, which is a darn shame, because I'd love to be part of that one. One of my things that I talk about selfish, I look so forward to John Gwynn's emails throughout the week.
I do too.
He has
three times a week updates on everything.
Oh, and the best content. I actually asked somebody in marketing the other day. I said, "Does John actually do that?" Or, "Oh, no, he does all of it. That's his." And one of the things that I'm going to start doing these social media trainings and teaching people how to double, triple, quadruple their business by using social media. One of the things that I'm going to use is just read John's emails. If you'll read John's emails, you've got more content.
Too many talking points
for the next month than anything else.
Yeah, too many talking with 3 of those a week. And I mean, we're not kidding, guys. It's if you just count the topics that he reviews from the tech industry, the mortgage industry, just general business headlines and interesting stories and things like that, he probably puts at least 8 to 12 of those in each update, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He should launch a subscription. So
I think it's amazing
for it to be available to people who aren't just employees at AFN.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. I agree.
Man.
Yesterday it was about Peloton. Look at that. There's just great information coming out. And you know what? Tomorrow, on Friday, there's going to be another one.
Yeah. So I look forward to those. And then let's move to our last topic. I don't want to drone on forever here. But quick little, the market's down. Not everything can be happy and positive. Everybody knows that mortgage companies are doing less loans, less production. We've seen, unfortunately, the layoffs and the closures in the industry and things like that. We're lucky to be in a pretty good spot here at AFN, but not a whole lot of people are feeling that vibe right now. So how can mortgage loan officers just kind of, as I trip over my tongue all over the place, how can mortgage loan officers get ahead in a down market? I always like to lean back on product mix and becoming an expert. So I go off of, I have something called the Amazon approach.
Okay.
So Amazon launched. What'd they sell?
Books.
Amazon sold books. And you know what they did? They sold books better than anyone.
Yes.
And they were so good that they got to the point to where if somebody bought a book, it probably became from Amazon.
Yes.
And Borders bookstore felt that, and Barnes and Noble felt that, and every mom and pop bookshop felt that. Amazon was just so good at books, and they were so good at books that their customers were like, "Man, I wish we could buy more stuff from you. This is so easy." So they said, "Okay, we'll start putting some other stuff on the store too." Now Amazon sells everything. So I like to translate that into something that a mortgage loan officer can take. Find an arbitrage opportunity. Amazon saw books and they said, "That's our arbitrage. That's our untapped market. It's an undervalued market. We can make a boatload of money doing that." Well, now conventional refis are not falling into your lap when you roll out of bed anymore. So let's maybe try to find an arbitrage. What are the loan programs that you don't like to work with? Because let's face it, the reason you don't like to work with them is because they're difficult and you're probably lazy. We're all victim of it sometimes.
Yep.
So let's look at our non-QM offerings. Let's look at our renovation loans. I know one loan officer who touted himself in his market as the pool man. Mm-hmm. And every realtor in a 20 or 30 mile radius, they knew that if they had a client who wanted a house with a pool, they could show them any property they wanted. Because that loan officer could do their loan on an FHA 203K or some type of a renovation loan, and they'd be able to add a pool and fix up the kitchen and fix up a bathroom and things like that. He was a renovation loan guy, but he marketed himself really smartly to the realtors in his area. And guess what? He was so good at renovation loans that sooner or later, his clients demanded that they do their next conventional refi when they wanted a lower rate. And he got all the referral business and all of that. So just because you might think you're cornering yourself into an area doesn't necessarily mean that those are the only types of loans that you're going to do. But it's a great way to build business in a down market when there's not a whole lot of easy pickings out there. I know that, I mean, you're pretty new to AFN relatively.
Yes.
What type of stuff in our product mix do you see as an opportunity for arbitrage right now?
Every single day. Now, I am just kind of old school. So when you got in the business and started seeing what was going on, you saw a little bit of the dirty side of the subprime, what would be called non-QM now.
Yeah, it was 2004 when I got in. So
I lived through that, and those are things still to this day, they stick with me. So when I look and see what it is that we have, and when I came on with AFN, when I got the call from John D'Onofrio and Matt Schultz, and they wanted me to come over here, which was an amazing feeling. But when I got the call and I looked to see our product array, when I saw, and you may laugh at this, when I saw our one-time close, our true one-time close, when I saw our construction of perm that was going off of agency guidelines for conventional FHA,
sorry, John, you broke
VA,
up on my end a little bit there. You said construction to perm?
Construction to perm, one-time close. When I saw that you could do FHA, VA, USDA, conventional, but then I took it a step farther and went through the class on the rehab loans. This is something that's absolutely amazing. So this is what I was thinking. You know, if you happen to live in a home, because most of us either move up or move down, if you happen to live in a home that doesn't fit you anymore, and all you really want to do is either spruce it up, or all you really want to do is add bedrooms or a living room or, you know, a theater room or whatever that is, the products that we have are absolutely amazing. I am so in awe. There's a number of people that have what you would call a construction of perm or something along those lines. They broker it out to somebody else.
Sure.
What we have inside is absolutely insane, crazy. And the fact that we've got a whole department that's what they do. So I understand, and I'm with you, and we're on the same exact page. I think every loan officer out there needs to find whatever that niche is. The pool guy is an amazing, great idea. There's so many of those that you can do. The rehab guy, whatever it may be, and brand yourself. And what you will find out is you're going to do those products, but you're going to end up getting referrals from the people you do that product for their parents, for their best friends, their cousins, their coworkers, whatever it is. Now, you asked me what it is that people need to do. After 28 years in this business, I will tell you what people need to do. And it's going to sound harsh. And if you want to, we can cut this completely out.
No, I like it. Don't sugarcoat it. They need to hear it.
They need to get up off their ass. They need to go do activity. Activity breeds success. Sitting on your butt in your house does nothing. Sitting on your butt in your office, waiting for somebody. I turned the sign on. I turned it over. Now it says open, and nobody's walking in my door. The ones that are going to dominate right now are the ones that are breeding activity, the ones that are putting something together that are truly going to dominate. And what's going to happen is they're not only going to expand their business, they're going to take other people's business away from them that are just sitting waiting for something to happen to them. And if you look at it, we're so lucky in today's day and age. Back in 2004, we had to drive around everywhere to go talk to realtors, go talk to builders. We had to pop in. We had to try and make appointments. We are so lucky in today's tech-savvy world that we don't have to do that. We can have a Zoom meeting. We can have a Teams meeting. We can, yesterday, you know, for example, one of our branch managers in Chicago asked me if there was any way that I could do a small, short training class for a real estate office that he had been trying to get into for quite some time.
Okay.
They said, yeah, sure. Who's going to do this? And luckily, knock on wood, the agency in Chicago knew me or knew of my name.
Okay.
And they said, oh my God, you know that guy. And immediately we set it up, put it together. And I trained 30 real estate agents in one office in a 1 hour period.
Yep.
So we have,
and you didn't have to rent a room, and you didn't have to buy them lunch.
Nope.
And you didn't have to. Yeah, man, it's awesome. Yeah. And I know that like you're going to be doing all the social media trainings and stuff like that. So I know you're a big proponent of getting on camera and getting in front of people and getting your brand out there. And
you have to.
Just talking. If you're not talking to people, then they're never going to know who you are.
Do you know who Gary Vee is?
Yes, 100%.
Do you know who Bob Smith is?
Yeah.
I have no clue who Bob Smith is because I've never seen him.
I know Bob Smith.
I see
He's one of my uncle's friends, but Gary Vee's super famous.
I see Gary Vee 80 times a day. So that's a great point. But
so can I just add one? I'm going to add one word to your do activity. Because get off your ass and do activity. Awesome tip. But let's face it, the typical mortgage professional these days is trending a little older than your typical home buyer. And home buyers are getting younger and only going to be more tech savvy and willing to do things online and engage that way. So maybe you don't do activity. Maybe you try to do some uncomfortable activity because you might not be as comfortable on camera as your target market is. And if you can bust out of your shell and step out of your box and do something a little bit uncomfortable, you might start building relationships that you didn't know were there to build.
Agree. Great point. I think once you start activity, it will breed more. And then once you build confidence, one of the things, and I do this all the time, training people and getting them to do something is I tell people all the time, I can double your business in 30 days, but you're not going to like what I say. And they're like, oh, I got to buy leads. No. Take that box of cards that's in your bottom right-hand drawer that you have never done anything with, put 10 of them on your front seat, and you're not allowed to go home until you've given away 10 business cards every day for a month. And the people who are going to do that are the guys that are doing 1 or 2 loans a month. That will immediately double their business just by breeding that activity. It builds confidence. It gets them up in doing something. Just do something. But no, you're 100% correct. Getting on camera, doing something uncomfortable. But let's start with baby steps. Let's get out there and do something today. Let's do something different today than we did yesterday. Let's plan and build something next week that we did different than last week.
I love it. Let's end it there. I don't think there's any better way to do it. And we're out of topics anyway. So that's what the next episode is for. Jonny, thank you so much for being here with me on this ride. Again, not an introduction of the Fly the Flag podcast, more of a reboot, from working from a fresh start. And we're excited to be here. Thank you, everybody who watched and listened to the first one with us.
And I appreciate you so much for including me in this.
It's my pleasure.
It means everything to me. And
I was excited
awesome
when I heard that you wanted to be involved. So I think we got a good thing going. We're going to get some great guests for you guys as well, so you don't just have to look at our two faces every episode. We're going to have some people to add their perspectives and all that stuff going into the future. We're looking forward to building. And, let's go. We'll talk to everybody later. Thanks a lot.
Victory.
Bye.